Welcome back to Medicine Made Easy with me, Kavi Tendal. Now we will be continuing with intracranial complications of CSOM. If you have not watched the complications of CSOM videos, the video links are in the description. Do check it out. Now we will be continuing with the autogenic brain abscess. Before that, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe for more interesting videos like this, and for regular updates, press the bell icon. Now, from the name, what we are understanding is autogenic brain abscess is autogenic. That means the source of the abscess is ear. Brain is affected, that is cerebrum or cerebellum. Study says that it is cerebrum which is affected 2 times more than the cerebellum. Abscess, it means there is an active infection. How? An ear infection is spreading to the brain. Yes, there are two ways. One is direct invasion of the pathology itself, or there can be a retrograde thrombophlebitis. This regarding reductive thrombophlebitis, in previous video on subdural and extradural abscess, we have spoken about the uh, dural venous sinus and its involvement in the pathogenicity of intracranial complications of CSOM. One special note, if at all an ear which is infected and the abscess from the ear is spreading to the cerebellum, think ear is in the middle cranial fossa and cerebellum is in the posterior cranial fossa. How come this is going to communicate? Yes, that is through the Trotman's triangle. It means the autogenic cerebellar abscess is going to pass through Trotman triangle. What is this Trotman's triangle? It is basically a triangle which is constituted by the superior petrosal sinus, sigmoid sinus, and solid angle. Importance is from the inner ear here, because solid angle is formed by the bony labyrinth. So from the inner ear to the posterior cranial fossa, the infection is going to spread. This is the triangle called Trotman's triangle. Now, what are the infections? As like common infections, we know it is Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, E. coli, Pseudomonas, Proteus, anaerobes such as Peptostreptococcus and Bacteroides fragilis. They are given a special note on Streptococcus. It is Streptococcus pneumoniae and Streptococcus hemolyticus. That's it. Now we know the infection is where in the ear in form of abscess. Now if it has to reach the cerebrum or cerebellum, now it is reaching. It means what? It is a progressive infection. So because of the progressive infection, what happens is first the parenchyma is affected. That is called encephalitis. In encephalitis signifies that there is an invasion of bacteria. In this phase, majority of time the symptoms are less, like fever, low grade fever, malaise, and so on. Next, this inflammation is now going to start as a latent abscess. Latent abscess means what? Abscess is not present actively, but rather what happens is there is a capsule formation, that is localization of the abscess into the one part of the brain. So, okay, so it is capsule formation. This takes some n number of weeks. This is called latent abscess. After latent abscess, that is capsule formation, what happens is in the capsule there collects the abscess, that is manifest abscess. Because of the pus all is collected in the capsule, the manifest abscess is going to have aggravated symptom. It is not only because of that, there is a surrounding edema of the parenchyma surrounding this abscess, and that is the result of as a result of the inflammation. Because of this edema, the volume in the intracranium is increased. Correct. So because of the increased intracranial volume, there can be an increased intracranial tension. Symptoms related to that is headache. There can be nausea or there cannot be nausea. That is projectile vomiting. Then blurred vision because of bilateral papilledema. And because of edema, all this intracranial tension is happening, but the brain is itself affecting. So what to do? This brain is going to show some symptoms. It is called focal symptoms. You are still wondering why it's called focal symptom, because it is having a capsule in the latent abscess phase. There is a capsule formation, and thereby the pathology is localized. There is a focal symptom. This focal symptom will be based on either in the cerebellum or in the cerebrum or cerebellum. Now coming to cerebrum, it is basically the grand mal seizure, as we know. So any abscess in the brain, the person is going to present with seizures. Here it is a grand mal seizure. Apart from that, there is nominal aphasia. Because the speech center is affected, there is nominal aphasia. Here the person cannot say what is the name of that object. Nominal aphasia. Next is homonymous hemianopia, because optic radiation is affected. So there is homonymous hemianopia. Remember, we are all dealing with which part of the cerebrum? This is temporal lobe, because temporal bone we have the ear, in temporal bone we have the infection, and temporal lobe we have the complication. So homonymous hemianopia. And then comes a contralateral motor palsy. Why there is contralateral motor palsy? Because we're dealing with the cerebrum. It means it is the motor fibers are arising in the cortex. So basically these fibers are going to cross at the brain stem. So there is a contralateral motor palsy. If at all the infection is going to spread upwards, then face is affected, or downwards, or toward, that is towards the leg, it is the internal capsule is going to get affected. Next, pupillary changes can be seen with third cranial nerve palsy, that is oculomotor palsy. This actually signifies there is a transtendorial herniation. So this is all about the focal symptoms in the cerebrum: seizure, nominal aphasia, homonymous hemianopia, contralateral motor palsy, and third cranial palsy. Coming to cerebellum, cerebellum, it is in the posterior cranial fossa. So pain will be mostly to the suboccipital region, and there will be neck rigidity associated. Remember, the cerebellar fibers are never crossing. Okay, so because of that, there is ipsilateral ataxia, ipsilateral hypotonia, and weakness of muscles. There will be intentional tremor. Remember, everything is I. So intentional tremor and past pointing and dysdiadokinesia. These are all symptoms related to cerebellum. Now, this phase signifies there is enlargement of the abscess. Apart from that, what can happen is there is rupture of the abscess. This ruptured abscess can cause spreading of this in the subarachnoid space and the ventricle. This causes fatal meningitis. To investigate, simple: do an X-ray, CT scan, and CSF analysis. CSF analysis shows all inflammatory cells, and in X-ray, skull, mastoid, CT, brain, and temporal bone. We can see this mastoid and temporal bone to rule out whether the pathology is actually present in the mastoid or in temporal bone, which is spread to the brain or not. CT brain shows whether the abscess is present or not, or whatever. Next, coming to the management. How to manage? Simple. What is this? There is an abscess. So given high dose antibiotic. It is chloramphenicol, third generation cephalosporin, aminoglycoside acid. Aminoglycoside acid is given for protease and pseudomonas suspected. Otherwise, no. It is chloramphenicol and third generation cephalosporin is fine. After giving high dose antibiotic, because of the intracranial tension, we can give 20% mannitol, or else we can give dexamethasone 4 mg IV 6th hourly. Next, but in acute setting, these steroids are under doubt. Next is ear discharge will be cleared with suction. Apart from that, the brain abscess can be excised with Barrow expiration, and we can instill the penicillin in the space in this area of abscess after aspiration. Next is we can do ear surgery all after infection is controlled. Okay, so antibiotic reduce the intracranial tension, ear discharge is cleared with suction, abscess is drainage with Barrow, instill penicillin there in the abscess area, and then ear surgery is done after the control of infection. And that is all about the otogenic brain abscess. Hope you have liked this video. If you like this video, you can chat to your friends and let us all join together and learn together. Thank you so much for patient listening, and let's all meet in the next video. Till then, stay tuned.